Respect is big. And when people don't respect you, it takes a toll on your mind, body, and spirit. Respect is huge. For me, respect is huge. I can't allow myself to be around people who do not respect me as an individual. Respect is huge. And when you understand the concept of respect, you will understand why people are able to pivot from people so quickly, because they don't want to let that energy end. When somebody is disrespectful or somebody doesn't respect you as a person, what's going to happen is it's going to keep growing like a tree. Okay, it's going to be respect level 5, and then the next time they respect you, it's going to be at a 15, and the next time they respect you, it's going to be at a 30. It's going to keep increasing. We see this with what's going on with Jen and Evelyn on Basketball Wives. The first hoopla or issue that they had as friends, Evelyn bullied Jen for the whole season. You and your friend can have a disagreement. That's not a reason for you to bully them for a whole year and threaten them. And that's not a reason for you to do that. But when someone doesn't respect you and they see you as a softie and they see you as somebody who's very passive, they are going to use that to their own personal advantage. So the minute she tried to threaten Jen and she tried to charge at Jen and curse at her and destroy her character, Jen should have shut the door on that friendship and sealed it, because she doesn't respect you and she never will. And that's why 10 years later, she's still disrespecting you. And not only is she disrespecting you, she's disrespecting your new husband as well, because you let it continue. The same thing applies with Shamia and Portia. When you allow a friend or a lover or someone to be disrespectful, and you allow that person to still be a part of your life, even after the fact, the disrespect, it's going to get worse. And by the time you address it, it's already going to be out of hand. It's already going to be out of hand. Because you train them that you don't respect yourself. You've trained them that you don't value yourself. The things that Portia did to Shamia, she could never do it to Nene, because she knows that Nene would not even allow a centimeter of it. People don't treat everybody the same. They treat people based on what they feel like they can get away with that said individual. You might as well get disrespect me tatted on your forehead, because that's all you've been getting. Just go ahead to the tattoo shop and put disrespect me with exclamation points, all in brown or black or red, a bold color, on your forehead, because that's all you've been getting. Disrespect is going to come in to your life based on the energy that you're carrying within. People will present nonsense to you until you change. So when someone comes to me and they say, Mel, I feel like people don't respect me, they don't respect me, they don't respect me, I switch it and I say, well, do you respect yourself? Because if you respect yourself, disrespectful people will never be around you. They will disrespect you one time, and after that one time, they have no access to you again. So if you feel like nobody around you respects you and everybody around you is disrespectful towards you, you don't respect yourself, because why are they still around? Why don't people respect you? People don't respect you because you don't respect yourself. People don't treat everybody the same. Maybe on the surface they do, but people treat people based on what they feel like they can get away with. That's human nature. People are going to do to people what they innately feel based on your track record, what they innately feel they can get away with. So people are going to test you. Men and women alike are going to test you. They are going to say or do something, it may be something very minor, to test the type of personality that you are. And the more enlightened you are, the more ascended you are, the more powerful you are, the more people are going to try to test you to see if they can make it into your space and be able to bully you while being able to access you. So let me tell you this. In my past, when somebody would say something passive aggressive, whether it was a friend or a family that would say something passive aggressive or do something passive aggressive, I would ignore it and continue with the relationship with the person. And over time, they became more and more and more and more disrespectful towards me because they had an understanding that they've tried it before. So why not keep increasing how much they can do to me? That was when I was younger. But now, the minute someone says or does something passive aggressive to me, they get cut off. It's literally a reflex. And now that person that is now having to watch me from outside the club is like, oh, wow, she's serious about herself. Wow, I tried to slide that insult in there. She didn't say anything about it. I didn't think she caught it. Clearly she caught it because I'm watching her from outside the club now. Oh, wow, I thought I was going to shout at her and call her out of her name. By the time I tried to type up an apology, I was already blocked. Oh, she's serious. Yeah, I'm very serious, actually. Everybody should be serious when it comes to their life. And everybody should be serious about not allowing disrespectful people to be in your space. You should be very serious about that. For you to be brave enough to call me outside of my name, boldly, loudly, and courageously, and to think that you would have access to speak to me again after that is, you're the one that's like out of whack. Because again, people are going to look at you and know how much you accept from them to determine how much they can get away with from you. So if you don't respect yourself, neither will other people. And they're going to know that you don't respect yourself because every time they disrespect you, you accept it instead of cutting them off immediately. So another way that people can see that you don't respect yourself is the way that you carry yourself. If you don't put effort into yourself, why would I put effort into you? People are a reflection of the essence and energy that's operating within you. So if you don't respect yourself, why would I in return respect you? Another reason why people don't respect you, you allow people re-entry or stability after disrespect. So after somebody disrespects you in an extreme manner, you allow that person to spin the block and come back into your life. The minute you do that, you have completely degraded yourself in front of that person. You have lowered yourself so many levels. When you allow someone to disrespect you in a very aggressive manner, and you allow that person re-entry into your life, you are showing them that you don't value yourself. And they're going to be like, oh, she doesn't value herself? Perfect. I'm going to make her my punching bag. A very good example of this is what's going on with Jen and Evelyn. When Jen and Evelyn had their hiccup, and Evelyn bullied Jen for an entire season and tried to jump on a table and attack her ex-best friend. From that point on, Jen should have shunned Evelyn from ever being a part of her life ever again. That door should have been closed, locked, and sealed with cement because she already crossed the line. And once you allow somebody to cross the line with you and you give them re-entry, they're going to cross the line again, but this time it's going to be worse. That is just human nature. So when you allow people re-entry after doing something extremely aggressive, or detrimental to you, your health, your safety, your reputation, you allow that person back in, they'll never respect you. They may apologize and be talking to you and you guys are trying to patch up the relationship, but they still don't respect you. And yes, somebody can be your friend or your spouse and not respect you, by the way. Number 3, why they don't respect you. You don't give people consequences for their actions. What's a good example of this? Every time you go to your family's Christmas party, they are degrading you. They're throwing jabs at you. They're making you feel bad about yourself. They're team tagging you in conversations. Humiliation ritual. As you guys are all by the tree, they're bringing you down. They're bringing up hurtful things on a holiday. But yet next year, where are you going to be? Right back at that table with them. So you don't give people consequences to understand that you're standing on business. So when it comes to the consequence, you should be like, you know what? I don't like the fact that you guys use holidays, which is supposed to be a beautiful time. I don't like the fact that you guys use holidays as a way to disrespect me and bring up things that is inappropriate. Bring up things that would make me uncomfortable. And then you guys gather as a collective where it's 15 people against one. So thank you for the invite to the Christmas party this year, but I will not be attending. I appreciate it though. Oh, well, we're sorry. I take your apology and I'm sure it's sincere, but I'm still not coming. I will not be attending Christmas celebrations moving forward. And your family is going to look at you completely differently after putting that consequence in place. People learn in consequences. Okay? So when you don't give people consequences for the mistreatment of you, they're never going to respect you. The next thing is you explain yourself to those that are not qualified for an explanation. Nobody respects the person that is explaining themselves to everybody. Like, you're just explaining yourself to the stop sign. You're explaining yourself to this person. You're explaining yourself to that person. You're explaining yourself to a commenter on your video. You're explaining yourself to a troll on Instagram. Why are you giving people the satisfaction of you explaining yourself to them? When you explain yourself to people, you want to know what that tells them? It tells them that you and them are in the same, you guys are in the same boat when you do that. That's why I always tell people, before you explain yourself, ask yourself, who are you explaining yourself to exactly? Who is this person? Is this like an authoritative figure? Is this person someone that you really respect? Is this like a judge or a law enforcement officer? Like, who is this person that you're giving this explanation to? Because when you find yourself explaining yourself to leisure people, random people, they are not going to respect you because you are trying to prove yourself to them as well. And explaining yourself is you trying to prove yourself. And you don't do that to everyone. So for example, for me, if someone asks me, oh, well, why do you do this? I have to assess who this person even is to begin with. Because if you're not someone that's specific to someone that I would explain myself to, I'm going to tell you, I did it because I wanted to. And then I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to open up, because that person, people don't respect people who are constantly over-explaining themselves. People don't respect people like that. The next thing is why people don't respect you is because you give niceties away without pre-qualifying people. People don't just give houses to anybody with money. The mortgage loan company has to qualify you as a buyer. They have to qualify you for a mortgage. People don't just give credit cards away. They have to check your credit history before they can see if you're qualified for this card. People don't just hire people. There is an interview process. So you giving niceties away to people, not kindness. Kindness is different. I'm talking about niceties, meaning you're bending over backwards for people. You are showing up for people, at the drop of a dime. You're, doing all this stuff for people, and you haven't even qualified if this is a quality person or not. You're kind of just giving your niceties away. And then when you don't get the results that you want and this person doesn't do the same in return, they don't respect you. Why would they respect you? You didn't make them work for anything. You just handed things to them. That's why the hardest worker in the company that goes above and beyond when they're not asked to, they never get promoted. Because nobody asks you to go above and beyond. You chose to go above and beyond, and we saw you now. Now we view you as a mule. Because why is she going above and beyond? And we didn't even give her a bonus or a raise. Why is she going above or beyond? You have to understand the mentality of human beings. Human beings have to be trained how to treat you. And when you go above and beyond for them, without qualifying them or without them working for it, they're never going to respect you. Okay. The next thing, why people don't respect you, is you allow yourself to be uncomfortable for the comfort of other people. Meaning, you'll allow somebody to come and start talking your ear off and causing you to have anxiety, instead of telling them, okay, that's enough. I can't hear any more of what you're saying. I'm so sorry. I appreciate you for letting me in. I need to focus on my work. I need to get this email sent out. So you allow yourself to be uncomfortable at people's comfort. You allow people to show up to your house unannounced and you let them in. You see them in the cameras and you let them in, and they didn't tell you they were coming. It's not your birthday. It's not a surprise. You just allow people to show up unannounced and you don't say anything, and you're uncomfortable and you didn't expect guests. You were just laying in your bed watching your favorite show with Skinny Pop, and now you have to entertain these random people that didn't even tell you they were coming. They just show up whenever they feel like it. Okay? And they're making you uncomfortable instead of saying, you know what, I appreciate you guys coming here. I will, host you as you're here, but in the future, I'm going to need you to let me know when you're coming, because you cannot show up unannounced. Because now what I had planned for today, now you just put a dent in my schedule. So, I'm happy you're here. I'm happy to see you, but please, in the future, I need you to let me know advance, because you cannot show up here unannounced. And that is no way you being rude. They're actually the ones that are rude because they showed up unannounced. But you can't allow people to make you feel uncomfortable so that they can feel comfortable. That's why people are constantly disrespecting you. For me, I will not under any circumstances allow anybody to make me feel uncomfortable, to make them feel comfortable. What does that look like? If I had a family member that I stopped dealing with because they were sociopathic and narcissistic. Majority of my family members are narcissistic sociopaths. And because there's not a lot of mental health and therapy and stuff in island culture, these people are extremely toxic. And it's not until you become an adult, you're like, these are narcissistic sociopaths, right? Until you divest. So I chose to stop dealing with a particular person in my family around a certain time because they were doing extremely disrespectful things. And I said, another family member was having a party, and I said, is this person going to be there? Because if they're going to be there, then I will not be there. I want to make sure that I know. And they said, oh no, they're not coming. They're not coming. I said, okay, cool. When I pull up to the parking lot of the condominium, this person that I said I did not want to be around is pulling up as well. So I was already on my way going into the condo. I opened the door. I said, here is the food that I promised to bring. I handed the food and they said, oh my God, where are you going? I said, I'm leaving. And they're like, why? I said, I'm not going to make myself uncomfortable for your comfort, because clearly you're trying to do some type of kumbaya thing, which is very kind of you, but you cannot overstep people's boundaries though. If someone tells you that they don't want to be around a particular person and you bypass that person and you bring them into an uncomfortable situation, because if everybody's on good terms, that makes you uncomfortable, that makes you comfortable, that makes you selfish. And it's also very disrespectful too. So I'm going to leave. because I can't make myself uncomfortable to make you comfortable. That goes against the way that I live my life. And I left. So that person, their respect for me went up after that interaction. So sometimes the person's respect for you will actually increase after you put a boundary in place, because they're going to realize, oh, wow, she is serious about her life, you know? So the next thing is why people don't respect you is because you allow people to manipulate you, okay? You allow people to play psychological games with you, and you don't remove yourself. You don't always have to address the person that's playing the psychological game. You don't always have to talk it out with the manipulative person, but by you removing yourself, that is you not playing along. The next thing is you are not autonomous or independent. So I always tell people, being autonomous and self-sufficient is what's going to get you respect from people. You want to know why? Because people don't respect people that have to rely on them unless they're their children. So when people know that you have to rely on them for shelter, for food, for money, they are never going to respect you because they know that you are not autonomous and self-sufficient and you rely on them. When you're self-sufficient, people respect you so much because they know one false move, you don't have to deal with them again because you're solid. The next thing is, the next reason why people don't respect you is because you lack the ability to spot micro insults and microaggressions. So when you are not able to spot when somebody is like playing in your face, and you're not able to spot when a woman is being disrespectful and she's trying to be funny, and you're not able to spot when a man is trying to be funny, you become the joke of the group. Women do this thing. This is why I don't do girl groups. Women do this thing where they choose one particular girl in the group that they're jealous of, and that's the person that they choose to talk about behind her back and bring up uncomfortable conversations when she sits on the table. Women are bullies, okay? If a woman is not ascended, women are bullies. I think I've said this already before. So if you're in a friend group with a bunch of women and you're the woman that they are jealous of, or you make them feel some type of way, they are going to always bring up weird conversations when you're around them. You know, you think you're going to brunch to have fun. They've already had a conversation prior to the brunch about you, and they've already discussed what they're going to bring up to make you uncomfortable. And because you haven't caught on to it, they're both looking at each other and smiling while talking about you. I would never allow women to play in my face like that. The minute that happened, both the chicks, all of them, you will never get in my presence again. That's the consequence. But you don't respect yourself. So you see that they're looking at each other and smirking and laughing and bringing up uncomfortable scenarios, and it's been happening for years, but you continue to keep those ladies around you. And that's why they don't respect you. And then the last thing is why people don't respect you is because you stay in toxic environments longer than you're supposed to. If it's a toxic environment, get out of the environment. Because they're going to think in their minds, okay, if he's here and we're bullying him or her and they're not going anywhere, they don't respect themselves, so let's keep on doing it. People respect people who remove themselves, and people who remove themselves quickly. That is who people respect. Nobody respects the people pleaser.